Hey Hugs, just a reminder before you get into the show that we have merchandise, yes, and you can find it on our Ugly Truth website. There's a little tab, you can click on it, and then you can peruse to see all of our styles. You can grab a mug or a sticker. We have hoodies and t-shirts, pretty much anything you would want to show your pride for being an Ugly Truth listener. Thank you so much for supporting us. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. It is episode 552. Welcome. We did a show. We've done a show, right? Oh no, we took a break. I can't remember. Oh
well,
my
you
God.
said we were taking. I was so confused. I thought it was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks.
It didn't feel like 2 weeks.
I know.
It felt like one.
I know.
And I'm like, wait, I was just at your house.
No, you
I'm
weren't.
like,
it had been 2 weeks, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
But in my
Here we
life,
are.
you know.
Yes, and you know what?
weeks
I have
fly.
to say, and I'm not saying this just for lip service. I know how crazy your life is. I would never want this to become like, ugh.
oh no,
You know?
yeah, no.
Which
I
I've
get it.
always said that the second it starts feeling like a burden, then we have to
We're like the
revisit.
Kardashians when it's not fun anymore.
Exactly.
We're going to stop.
And by the way, that is 100% true. And when you're the mom, it also makes it
And
doubly.
I don't. I mean, like Thanksgiving, I was like, yay, we're off for a week. And I'm like, yeah, and I'll be busy like the whole time.
In
I
fact,
went grocery shopping all day, and then I cooked all day, and then I baked all day, and then I had to clean all that
so
shit
true.
up. And then, yeah.
Yeah, even with a little bit of help, it's still your
I get
primarily.
none.
Well, it was funny.
Zero.
Is,
When I saw Daryl sweeping the floor this morning, I was in awe.
I don't even know why he's doing it. I didn't ask him to do anything.
I know. And I'm like, that would never happen at my house.
Yeah, I don't really know. Other than this, is that it's the opposite. Like, I'm constantly cleaning or doing something, and I feel like I do nothing. But the reality is I'm always doing something.
Yeah,
and
you have
so-
to. Your house would be in shambles
Oh my
if
God.
you didn't.
And so then Daryl, and he works 12-hour days
Right.
every day, all day.
Does he really?
Oh yeah, because he's everybody's working from home now,
Yeah.
and so they're taking advantage.
Right.
So sometimes he's easily up by 5 or 6 a.m. every
Lord,
day.
have mercy.
Most of his calls they can start as early as 7.
Well, because he deals with East Coast people a lot too.
Yeah,
right?
and 7 is like 10 a.m. to them.
Right.
They're like, our morning poo's coming. Can we get going? And he's like, I need a sip of coffee.
Like,
Jesus
we've
Christ.
been at it for 4 hours. Welcome to our world. Thank you for getting up.
Sometimes what's funny is if they want an 8 a.m. call, he's like, you guys realize it's 5 a.m. for me? And they're like, oh, you're right. We're so sorry. And I'm like, jeez.
And you know what? Even, I'm sorry, when we...
He's like, I'm not doing that.
I hear
I'm not
when
doing
someone
that.
calls an 8 a.m. meeting, I look at them like, have you lost your mind? You want to meet at 8 a.m.?
No one's even talking
No
yet.
one wants to meet at 8 a.m.
No one
And when you
does.
do, it's the same. Everyone has the same look on their face. It's sleepy. It's barely alive.
Everyone's
it's
pale.
silent.
Everyone's pale, sipping their little mug
They
of...
really, no one wants to participate. It's like, please go on, Beth. You speak
because
I
it's
am
not like
alive.
anyone had time to hit Starbucks. Everybody's drinking their faux mochas.
We're grateful for the Keurig in the break room.
You're like, thank God I have hot chocolate to add to this.
Seriously, it's so true.
Except for the one person,
There's always one.
What? I worked out this morning.
Yeah,
I went to the
I've been up
gym,
since 4:30.
and then I just sailed on in. Welcome everyone to my meeting. I've been up for
up.
hours. It's like, God.
I know. I read an article once that said the most successful people in the world are generally up 3 hours prior to their day starting.
Ain't gonna be me ever.
Right, and
Never,
that's why I'm poor.
Although I will tell you this, if my day started at noon, I could do it.
Okay, me too.
I could
right?
do it.
Totally.
I mean, I don't know about you, Sarah. I've never been a morning person since
Nor
the
have
day
I.
I was born.
Ever.
I was born in the afternoon, and it's never changed.
I don't think I was born. I think I was born at the crack of dawn. I think Mom had me at like 4 a.m.
She probably hated that.
She did. Well, I was a very difficult birth, remember?
Malia was very difficult as well, and you're
Yeah.
right, you were difficult.
I was, according to Mom. Yeah, well, I had my cord wrapped around my neck.
Oh God,
and
frightening,
She was in
horrifying.
labor with me forever and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not a morning person either. I have learned to
Never.
adapt and do the best that I can,
Yeah. Oh, well,
so
you
that I'm
have
not.
to.
Yeah, I mean, like back in the day when I was younger, I would literally get up like moments, just with just enough time to get ready and be out the door.
Yeah.
But now I'm
yeah.
like, don't do that to yourself. You know, I have to at least give myself, like, I'm talking 20 minutes. I'm not talking an hour.
No.
I mean, 20, 30 minutes before I actually have to be in the shower and doing that. So it helps.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to.
I used to stand in the shower
society.
like sleeping, literally with my eyes closed.
Oh, I've done
like,
that so many times.
I'm like, why am I doing this? Just get up a few minutes early, and it's always well worth it. So anyway, that's about as best I'm gonna get. I ain't doing 3 hours.
No, God, no. So it will never be successful. Good to know. Okay, so Sparky has arrived in my house. Sparky Griswold is here. That is Daryl. He is obsessed with Christmas. I assume it's because of his
cute.
mom.
Oh, really?
Because his mom, who has moved up here, she was always like hardcore into Christmas. Like, they had a house like bigger than this, and every single room was decorated.
Aww.
Every bathroom, the kitchen, the front yard,
It's
the
so
porch.
much work.
It is and then lights everywhere.
Right.
Children love it.
They do.
She loves the process, and obviously Daryl, it has like osmosis to him. I mean, he loves it so much, and I don't hate it. Now I've changed.
No, I like it too.
I've changed a lot. A couple of years ago, I'd be like, no Christmas music. I don't want any Christmas music in this house until at least after Thanksgiving. I refuse to listen to it.
I don't listen to it after. Does he listen to it before?
If I could have allowed it. So one year I said, you know what? I'm tired of robbing you of the joy. Listen to it whenever you want. And he would do it like after Halloween. Like, he would literally do it leading into any holiday. And so I let him do it one year. He was so burned out on Christmas music before even Christmas. And I'm like, well,
that worked.
That worked. This is what happens when you get to do whatever you want to do. You know, this is what happens when you get to eat too much candy.
Right.
It's no longer
You're
fun.
sick and you don't like it anymore. Yeah.
Right. And so now this year, for example, he waited until Thanksgiving.
Right.
The next day.
I think that's a perfect time because it gives you a full month.
Yeah.
Prior, and it's all and once Thanksgiving hits, you're
ready.
leading up to
you're into it.
Christmas. Yeah.
And I created a playlist for him.
Oh, nice.
On iHeart. It's called the Sparky Christmas Playlist. There is easily 7 to 8 hours of Christmas music on there. I'm happy to share the link. Everyone can. It's perfect for background music. It's got literally every single. Do you have the
good song?
You have the iHeart app, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I will send it to you. Well, I'll send it to you, but I will also share it so that everybody can see what.
Please do.
It's so cute. It's got Nat King Cole. It's got
because there's very few Christmas songs that I don't like or I don't think there's any that I hate.
There's only one little drummer boy on there, and it's a good one. It's not some shitty one. It's like
one of my favorite Christmas songs is the rendition that Don Henley does.
I have it.
Bells will be
It's on there.
ringing. I love the way he sings that song. I've heard others sing that song, and I'm just like, no, I just love the way Don Henley sings it.
It is. It's a good one. There's a lot of cool Christmas tunes on there that he loves. So that
Mariah's working on a new Christmas, unless she already released it, and I just haven't been.
another Christmas album.
Yeah, a new song. But yes,
she's like, I wonder if I can strike magic twice.
Well, she's.
I mean, that is
It is the #1 Christmas song
iconic
ever.
Christmas song.
Yeah, it literally
time.
gets the most downloads of any song ever.
I don't hate it either.
I love it.
Like I
seriously love it.
I still do not grow tired of it. Does anybody?
It's really hard to get tired of that song. I mean,
and it's not too long.
It's not.
It jumps right in.
The thing I love about Mariah is her songs generally go with her personality.
Oh, totally.
She is not the brightest bulb in the bunch. She's brilliant. She's a genius musically.
Yes.
She knows how to produce. She knows how to write songs. She knows all of that stuff. Yeah,
yes.
which is no small feat. I mean, many have tried and failed, and she does
really,
it
really smart.
brilliantly.
Yeah.
But as far as, the rest of her, that's really like her one talent.
Yeah, which is good because that's
So her songs are quite simple. They're not really complicated. They're very easy to sing. The words aren't crazy. So yeah, I do love her very much.
All right. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Did you guys do
so
anything?
good. Yeah. I mean,
that's a dumb thing to say.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we ate our weight in turkey.
Yes. Yes, we did. I got a late start, kind of. I was exhausted. I mean, I had to work the whole week up until Thanksgiving Day. And so
you didn't even get a half day off on Wednesday?
I did, actually. I lied.
Oh,
I did
that's
take
good.
a half day off on Wednesday.
That's good.
Yeah, I did. So, but I mean, the thing about me is everything is my responsibility. So there's nothing.
You have no helpers sweeping?
No. I mean, Jerry's meandering around, excited that I'm in there, but no one's doing anything for me necessarily. The only thing he does, I take that back, is that thing is so stinking heavy. We got a 22-pounder this year.
Ooh, nice.
I do have a hard time getting it from when it's sitting in the roasting pan on the counter into the actual oven. I'm just so afraid I'm going to drop it.
Yeah, Daryl put mine in too.
Yeah, so I'll have him do that. He's happy to do that. But other than that, it was a lot of work.
I actually started prepping 2 days before. So because I'm like, look, the one thing that happens to me every year is because luckily you only have, well, it's not luckily, but you only have your small family.
Yes.
Whereas if Lauren and Richard were to come and all that stuff,
they have in the past.
Right.
And it is huge.
And you do need to kind of prepare.
Well, if you only have one oven, do you have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one. So
that does become problematic when you have one oven.
Especially when we have, we have the 3 that come. Natalie obviously lives in another state, so she does not come, but Tyler always brings his girlfriend,
right.
And then Daryl and I, and then Daryl's mom came this year.
Oh, lovely.
It was lovely. And so here's the other thing. I have a bunch of hippie dippies for children.
Right.
And
Vegans
they all have dietary exclusions.
Yeah.
And so I'm making multiple Thanksgiving. It's multiple. It's not just one.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, eat what's here, and that's the end of it.
Right.
It's like, unless you don't want anyone to eat.
Right.
Which I don't. And
of course.
There was.
And you don't want them to just have one thing they can eat.
No.
They need to be able to have choices.
I buy them a vegan roast.
Nice.
And then I pull some mashed potatoes beside, and I use vegan butter and milk. And then but that's the one thing I will not compromise for the whole family.
For yourself.
Is like,
yeah.
I want fucking heavy whipping cream and real butter.
Seriously.
And I just won't compromise.
So you have to have both.
Right. And now Mackenzie has decided she's not vegan, but she's kind of like, she'll eat some protein, but she will not eat pork. And so there was no bacon to be had in anything. So it was a lot of raw vegetable. I don't know. I mean, it was good. Everything was delicious.
As always, yeah.
Everything was delicious, but it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work,
right?
Especially when you're accommodating so many.
Right. And then the wine is flowing.
Yeah.
We went through a magnum of rosé champagne.
Yum.
And then we had 2 or 3 bottles of red. And then Daryl's mom had white wine. And so she finally went, not in a, like, finally, but she went home, and everybody else stayed.
Uh-huh.
And we proceeded to get fairly shit-faced.
Right.
And the conversation completely went downhill.
Oh, no.
After the grandma left. Because all we talked about from that point on was throw up and poo stories.
Lovely.
I mean, it was so goddamn hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they were so fucking funny that, I mean, I'm just like, I don't even want to, I'm going to tell you it. Sorry, Tyler. Tyler shit his pants at work and told everybody that somebody broke into his house and that he had to go home really quick and check. And so this is at an old job, so it's not,
You know what?
He goes,
I told you what happened to, yeah.
He goes, basically, I was outside on my smoke break, and I thought I had to fart, so I farted and went, oh, that was more.
And now what do I do?
So he said, hey, and so he ran home, and luckily it wasn't that far away from his house.
Thank goodness.
So he ran home, changed, and then threw his pants and underwear in the washer and washed everything, and...
So Sabrina wouldn't find out?
Sabrina comes home, she's like, why is there a pair of pants in the washer? This is such a waste of water. She goes, we have piles of clothes. He's like, I don't know how to tell you this.
But there's no other way because I can't explain.
Right? And so, the stories just continued.
So funny.
Everybody has their stories.
Well, everyone has a story of that nature.
Puking or pooping, man.
Yeah.
So much.
I just thank God I've not shit my pants. But I have given birth, and I'm quite sure that there's other things that go with that.
Yes, that's true. But it was, so then finally, it was like, I don't know, like 11:30 or 12. Everybody left. And then Daryl and I sat on the couch, had a little more wine, and that was a mistake. I just was like, I ended up not drinking any of it. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can't do this. No, we all cleaned. Everybody cleaned. We all,
nice.
We all did that. So that wasn't
That's
so bad.
Great. See, that doesn't happen at my house.
Well, we also have 5 able-bodied adults.
Absolutely. That's how it used to be at Mom's house.
Yeah, everybody helps.
When we used to have fun times over there.
Sure. And so then the problem is the next morning we had to get up and go get our tree.
Oh.
So we always
you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn, do you?
We don't, but if you don't, you'll miss all the good trees.
That's
and then
true.
It gets really crowded.
Plus, I mean, you know what? I'm that way. Yeah. I'm not. If I have a task to do and it's something important, just get up and do it.
Right.
Do it.
So
you don't have to get up at 6 a.m.
Well, what's cool is that when you tie one on and it's kind of late when you wake up, it's not that you're drunk still. It's just that you're still kind of like
the level of sleepiness is different.
You're kind of like, hey, I can handle this. I don't feel that bad. And so we had coffee and lots of water, and we all, and
then
the
you
4
start
of us,
to revive.
Yeah. So me, Mackenzie,
you need to eat food.
Yeah, and we did. Me, Mackenzie, Malia, and Daryl. We all drove up the hill, found our tree, and I would say by the time we got home, it was around 1:30, 2 o'clock.
It's time for a nap.
And I went, you know what? I don't think I'm right. I don't think I'm right. And nobody was. And so normally we have that tree decorated. The house is done.
Oh, you do it all the same day.
It's all done. We all want it done so we can just enjoy it. It took us a good 2 or 3 days to do the house
everything.
and everything. Yeah.
Well, the house looks amazing. It's beautiful. Everything looks really,
Daryl
really
loves
pretty.
it.
Yeah.
Every night.
It's so pretty.
And every night he's like, you want to have a nightcap by the tree? And I'm like, I can't drink another ounce of liquor.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, can you
I know,
not?
Jerry did that to me, too. It was like the day after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving...
Oh, yeah.
I'm famous for drinking early, for day drinking.
Sure. It's fun.
I played...
The Raiders won!
They did.
Woo!
It was so fun.
We actually we did not eat until that game was over.
Well, we nibbled all day. That's just how
we had stuff out.
I had a vegetable tray and stuff like
so
that.
Did we.
But yeah, so I wasn't trying to get like hammered, because it's a long day.
What a nice long buzz for the
right,
day.
but I mean, it's what I do, and I usually play Christmas movies in the kitchen because I have a TV in there or music, whatever, and I was, fairly toasty by the time we ate dinner and put everything away and all of that. So the next day, I wasn't hungover per se.
No, but you just felt tired.
But I was tired, and it had been a long day, and so I was relieved it was over, and that I was amazed that I had to put everything in Tupperware, and it was all cleaned up. I was like, holy shit! The only thing I had to do was clean out my roasting pan, which is amazing. And so I was doing that, and then I was just kind of relaxing, because it was like Friday morning. It was like 10ish. Here comes Jerry with 2 glasses of rum and cokes.
No,
brand new, all sparkly. He's got this look on his face like he's so proud of himself. He's bringing it to me and everything. I looked at him like, are you trying to kill me? I go, are you trying to kill me? I go, do you not know how much I drank yesterday?
He's like, what?
And I don't think he always necessarily realizes it because he will come in and out of the kitchen and kind of hang out, but he doesn't stay stationary the whole time. So he probably doesn't realize that I'm in there like, dude, pouring little this, little that,
sips.
or I opened a bottle of champagne.
Well, I just finished the potatoes, so that calls for celebration.
Exactly. I'm like, fine. I got 2 dishes down. Right. How long has it been? Well, it's been 2 hours.
My God, I'm parched. I am parched.
Exactly.
So he was like, what?
He's like, it's your day off. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go back to work for 3 more days. And I'm like, yes, and I would like to survive
I would like to actually be able to walk a straight line today. So yeah, at the end of our, so during the meal, after we were all celebrating the ugliest Raider win, but whatever, they won.
A win is a win.
Yep, always.
And I was not expecting it after the week we've had.
Oh God, it's
the weeks
just
we've had.
Picked clean. Picked the bones clean of this team.
Seriously, I was like, I was going to be not watching the rest of the season. I was to that point. I was like, oh my God.
I hate it because I'm so desperately in love with the Raiders that
so am I. It's like a boyfriend cheating on you. I'm like, how could you lose?
It's just, but I understand. They
have had so many issues, but
devastated.
But the thing is I'm just being a Raiders fan for life, as we have been. I just get so over the excuses, like every single year, why we suck or why we almost make it and we don't.
This
and I'm
felt
just like,
particularly extra, though.
Well, losing John Gruden was heartbreaking to me,
and then losing our star player.
And that too. And I'm just not over it. I'm still not over it.
Well, he's suing the NFL.
I know.
I'm so fucking glad. I hope the thing is,
the more I read whatever happened, I get so angry about it.
It's
just so dirty.
It's so dirty, and I blame Dan Snyder, and I said this publicly many, many times that I blame that fucking mole rat. I hate that guy.
Me too.
He's such a he should be in politics, honestly.
Right? Well, the NFL is very close to
That's what I was going to say, is the NFL is so freaking governmental-like when it comes to the power.
It is.
It's so difficult which is one of the reasons why I love the Raiders, because of Al Davis. He kept them on their toes, pushed the envelope over and over again, the most progressive of all the coaches.
Agreed.
Yes, he ended kind of like sour, but he changed the way the NFL works.
That's true.
It's because of him that these players have what they have.
Yeah.
Oh, what is this? Hark.
Yeah, we should have had a bell where it's like ding, ling, 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 ling.
Hark. An elf has entered the room.
Yay! Oh my God.
Producer Deb is in the house with our cocktail of the week.
Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous.
So,
again.
What is it? Please.
It's a mojarita.
Mojarita?
Oh my goodness.
It's a mojito-inspired margarita.
What's in it?
So
Tell us, please.
Yes.
Tequila. It's tequila and lime juice, lots of mint, little club soda, simple syrup.
Here I go again.
Hopefully it's good.
We were just talking about how we drink too much at Thanksgiving.
Yes. Well,
we'll see.
We were talking Sparky Talk, so I was cracking up. And
these look really, really tasty.
They do.
I hope they're as tasty as they look.
You didn't try one? You don't do like the straw?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Those look good, honey.
Okay.
So what kind of tequila may I ask?
Yeah, you're supposed to use silver. I didn't have any, but I use Reposado. Cazador is Reposado, so it's not like
you cannot go wrong.
No, it's...
Here we go. Cheers.
Right.
Cheers.
Good times.
To Dub.
Oh, this is tasty.
Oh, good.
Delicious.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
I have something stuck on my tooth.
Stop
What is that?
it.
Is it
Probably
guzzle.
mint.
Oh, it's mint. Okay.
Yes. Mint.
I'm like, is it basil?
Is it basil?
No. But if you're Kate Chastain on Below Deck and you don't have any mint, then basil works just fine, apparently.
Well, enjoy. Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's super refreshing.
So good.
So we'll post the drink ingredients.
Indeed. Oh, my God,
Next
that's
week.
delicious.
Can't wait. I'm gonna sip on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So anyway, when we're eating, at one point, this has been a tradition for a few years now, and I know it sounds cruel to many, but this is just how we operate, is I go, all right, it's time to decide who the favorite child of the year is.
Oh, no.
And so every year, well, for years, it was Tyler.
Oh, right.
He always won.
That's not surprising.
And so, because there's a meme that says, are you the favorite child or do you have a brother? Because that's pretty much how it goes. And of course, Daryl's mom is there when we're talking about that. And she goes, well, what happens if you have two sons? And I go, well, they're both your favorite. They're just different.
Right.
They're favorites for different reasons, which is 100% true.
It is true.
Here.
Does it feel that way for the father or just the mom?
I think it's just the mom.
Because I'll bet you if...
I can only attest, because I'm a mom, that it's just the mom. I've never seen a dad do that, but I know that dads will tend to gravitate towards the little girls.
That's true.
In their life. The baby, their daughters.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's completely
Even
true.
if they're rotten and horrible, like Jerry's. But yeah, I would agree with that. It just, like, that child can do no wrong.
Yeah,
she
it's
could
her
literally
daughter.
be a mass murderer, and he'd be like, I don't care.
She's my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't mean to.
So this year, I said, well, how are we going to decide? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because everyone's been pretty good, you know? I said, well, we could always go with who cost us the least amount of money this year. And Leah goes, it's me!
So did she win?
She won.
Good for her. She deserved
Yes.
it. She's a lovely, lovely
She
child.
never wins. I never win anything. And they're like, because you're the favorite. It's like, no, you're the baby.
She's the
And then
favorite. She's the baby.
chaos ensues.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's, hilarity and all that crap.
I love that.
It's really funny.
That's
and
so
it's
cute.
very lighthearted. No one actually...
Oh, of course. I know how we
started
roll.
it. And then, in fact, somebody, I don't remember who it was, they're like, we should get a trophy. And I'm like, all right. No, we're not going to do that.
Should bust it out next year and be like, well, you guys asked, so
Stop it.
they can pass the torch every year to the next winner.
That's right. Oh, okay. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about before we do my ugly and awkward moments. The other day, I don't know if you saw, I don't know how often you look at our Instagram stories.
I do. I mean, I can't keep up because you post every day, and I don't.
I do. And it's only for exposure so people can find
I get
us.
it. I'm so busy.
It's fine. Anyway, I posted an awkward moment that somebody was having at the gym. They were trying to do some kind of strange contraption where they were sitting like on a rowboat almost.
Oh, I've seen those.
But their legs were weighted down, and they were trying to lift their legs and pull down, like pull down with their ankles.
That sounds dangerous for me.
Well, it was too much weight. They went to lift up, and the weight jettisoned them back, and they gave themselves a poo job.
Oh, because they weren't strong enough to keep their legs up.
So then, not only did their legs elevate, they spread, and they went over his shoulders, and then he flung off because he doesn't bend like that.
Right.
And then he fell off, and then you see in the background people at the gym running towards him, going,
Like, are
"Holy
you
shit."
okay?
Right. And it was not a woman, it was a man. And I had to watch it a couple of times. And so then I posted as one the story, and I go, this is a poo job, and we will explain it to you on this show.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't even know who invented the poo job. Was it you?
Most likely, I was going to say it was either me or you.
I didn't know. I think this was your... in fact, I remember being instructed on what one was when we were kids.
Yeah. I don't know how we... I'm sure it was by accident that we discovered it.
Can you please explain what a poo job is?
It's a torture... It's a method of torture that you inflict on your sibling when you're... and we did this a lot growing up. I don't know if other siblings do this, but we would hold each other down. We would rat pack each other to where there would be a couple of us holding one person down, and It was non-specific. It could be any of us, except for you.
No, I was physical.
Right. Jamie, yeah, we were all scared of Jamie. So, but whoever was the target would be held down on their back. So their shoulders and arms were so they couldn't move or sit up. And then someone would take their legs. And imagine being in the position of when you give birth, where your knees are up and your legs are kind of spread.
Or if you're in some kind of what are those things? Not speculum. Stirrups.
Yeah, stirrups, something like that. And you literally take both of their legs and you put them back behind their shoulders.
As much as you can.
As much as you can. And when we were young, we were all like noodles. We were totally very flexible. Bendy. Yeah, so there was no limit. You touched the ground behind your head. And you would hold them there, and the pressure of your legs being behind you was so great, it made you feel like you wanted to defecate, like you were going to have a bowel movement, because your anus is like fully exposed. All of your weight is behind you and on your stomach, and we thought it was funny.
So we called it the poo job.
And it was like, I'm going to go poo.
You're like, I'm going to give you the poo job.
Yeah.
So that when I saw that, I mean, like, oh my God, he gave himself the poo job. I can't believe it. I've never seen that before.
That's terrible.
I don't think anyone calls it that, but it did harken back to a time we were so woefully unsupervised. But the thing is that most kids our age were.
Agreed.
I don't know too many parents who were at home at that time.
No.
Women were out there being working girls, getting their share, frying up the bacon.
It was later
in the
very early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
most moms
I want to say late 70s, we were home with Mom.
Yes.
But
then she decided to...
As time progressed, and in the 80s then we were home alone more.
Well, that's because all the women who felt they had no options divorced.
Suddenly,
everybody.
Yeah, right?
And then we all came... I remember there was a time when I didn't know anyone who had married parents.
I think it was,
very rare.
Irreconcilable differences in the state of California only became a thing in like the late 70s.
Yeah, that's when our mom filed for divorce.
And many women did.
Yes.
Because you used to have a reason to get married. Yeah, divorced.
Yeah, because you couldn't
just go to the judge and say, I don't want to be married anymore.
Women did not have the right.
No. And so when that happened, a lot of women were like, oh, I'm done. Like, I'm out.
I don't need you.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. It's amazing how many women actually gave up their kids too. They're just like, you take care of them.
I know, right?
Yeah. It was a crazy time.
But you know what? Luckily, we have evolved since then, and we realized we can have it all. You know,
yeah,
we can have our kids, we can have jobs, we can be single.
Well, and society has really changed. I was reading something the other day, and it said, the 40-hour work week was designed with the assumption that there was someone at home doing all the work, when that's literally never the case.
No.
And so
not now.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And they're like, we really need to do a rework. Like they should. The time change has to fucking go away.
We voted on that. Why is it still a thing?
You know what, Stephanie? I am not this person, but I am not kidding. I reached out to
your local congressman?
My local congressman and said, what's the holdup? I hate the time change.
There's just so many things that I could complain about in California. I mean, it's like we were talking about.
I know, but it's important.
Well, so is the death penalty.
It was so important that everybody voted on it, and it was the one more than bipartisan issue that we all said, yes, get rid of it.
I agree.
Baby steps.
But seriously, as much of a controversial issue as it is, 70% of Californians voted for the death penalty be reinstated. 70%. We don't agree about anything in 70%.
So not only do we need to...
And they were like, fuck you.
The only thing we need to do is we need to reimpose the death penalty and stop with the time change.
I mean, the only reason why I say reimpose the death penalty is because that's what the people want.
Well, that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's because I personally feel for it, but if this is truly a democracy and the people decide what they want, if that's what they vote for, then you honor that decision.
Thank you.
And if you don't like it, then you lobby for the law to change. Yeah. That is your remedy.
That is exactly it.
But you don't have the right to systematically tell people that your vote doesn't count.
I'm curious.
Go like this.
God damn it.
It's the mint. That's why I'm being very careful. I'm like pushing it aside.
Honestly, I wish he'd given us a straw.
All right,
that's
next
all
time.
I'm saying. I just wonder if someone were to run for governor and it's like, I promise you, I don't care what I get done, I will reinstitute the death penalty and I will make the time change happen. I would be like,
Republicans.
Done and done.
The last when they did the recall election in California, the people who were running against Newsom or said if he gets ousted, that was their big thing. That was what they were using. Like, hey, you guys, I will do these two things, I promise, but the people didn't want it that bad, apparently. They were willing to, continue on, and I'm fine with that. I respect the vote.
All I want is, I do not want to have to wake up when it feels like 5 a.m.
Yeah,
I would like to just wake up and it be normal.
Yeah.
Every time. It's a mind fuck, and I hate it.
I hate it too. So bad. Every time it's coming, I'm like, is this the good one or the bad one? Is this the one?
You know what, though? Honestly, I don't even like the good one anymore.
I don't
even like the good one anymore.
Well, this last one we had, I don't mind.
It was the good one, but it's dark at 4:30.
No, it is.
I hate it.
With the fact that I have to be at work at 8, I was really hating getting up, and it was
that part of it is nice. You're right. It was nice to wake up really early.
I hated driving to work, and it was like nighttime. And it was 7 a.m.
That's
like,
what I hate.
My God.
It's like, it's dark when you leave, and it's dark when you come home.
Yeah.
And it's like,
no, it was daylight until 8 or 9 o'clock,
Oh, before. Yes.
Before the time change, yeah. So, but now it's kind of like the happy medium,
Yeah.
It's just getting light when I'm leaving, and it's just getting dark when I'm coming home.
True story.
So, if it could just be like that all the time, I'd be fine.
True story. All right. Do you have an ugly and awkward moment?
Fuck.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay, please do. I'm so bad at this. God.
Let's do our ugly and awkward moment of the week. The thing is that when you're perpetually awkward, or I've come to find if you are literally doing your routine, there is not a lot of opportunity for awkward moment. But
I am awkward all the time.
Me too. But I did have an awkward moment at the dog. We took the dogs for a walk. We had not been taking them for a walk as regularly as we used to, because the last time we took them,
they escaped.
No. But they're like, oh, they've been so good, because we take them like at least once a week, and we take them on a really long walk, and they do really great. We're like, let's switch it up. So we went a different direction, and we ran into, of course, every dog.
Oh, and that's always...
But Sasha's great, Bodega's horrible.
He wants to go for him.
He just wants to bark constantly, and it's like, when you ever hear a husky bark...
and Bodega's huge.
And he's massive. And so I said no.
So I'm sure he intimidates everybody.
We literally turned around and went home. Yeah. We couldn't do it. And so this last time we're like, okay, let's try it again, but we're going to just do our routine. We're not going to do anything new. Yeah. We're just going to, whatever. So we went through... They were really, really good. Sasha was getting a little insane, and because it had been some time, and she does what a lot of huskies do, where they like to pull like they're on a sled, and she'll like leap up and pull forward. Well, I trained her not to do that because it's really bad.
Right.
But she sometimes just loses her goddamn mind.
Right.
So I was going to shorten her leash, because I have one of those auto pull ones. Retractable.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to do it, and then she had calmed down, so then I was going to let her do it. So it was short, and there was, of course, people. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna let it go out a little bit. So what I have to do is I put my foot on the leash and then release it, because it's like a seatbelt. And if she is even moving a little bit, it won't unlock.
Right.
And so I put my foot down to do it, and of course it was too short. I immediately fell forward.
Oh crap!
There in the dog park area, and Daryl's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to undo the leash." He's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Well, let me assist." And Sasha's like, "What did I do? Why am I in trouble?" She has no idea why she's getting
yanked
off of the thing, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And so. This is not the first time that I've embarrassed myself at this park, obviously.
Oh my god.
Because I can't even walk a dog. At one point, I fell when I was walking her, and it was so bad. I was like, give me the leash. Give me the leash. He's like, you can't do it. You can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm like, I can.
Doesn't he know he knows you're awkward, right?
He does.
He has accepted this as part of your life.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know why it is. Someone, Paula and I were talking about this years ago, and she said that people who are exceptionally clumsy tend to be brain damaged in a way because of child abuse.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I said, well, that makes 100% sense. And I said, so now whenever I do that, I'm like, sorry, my abuse is showing. Pardon me. I just pardon me while I do this.
I wonder if that's true.
She read it directly from something that she found.
Well, she's read it on the internet, and it must be true.
I did my research. Right? So you know it's true.
I Googled it.
It was there. No, I would be curious though. I should definitely double check that fact.
Yeah, some of those things.
It sounds real.
No, it actually does make sense, to be honest. I hate that about. I mean, no, I don't actually hate that about us. But it's funny how
Oh, listen, flawed and broken people who were abused or had terrible childhoods are some of the goddamn funniest, creative
and most
people.
interesting. Yeah.
And most interesting. Can you imagine a generation where we've all broken the trauma cycle and there's all normal people?
No.
I mean, there's still
it's going that way.
There will still be creativity, but I also think it's one of the reasons why people have less tolerance for mean comedy or making fun of certain groups.
Because that's not like normal anymore.
Those trauma cycles are breaking, and we no longer look at people and go, "Oh, you're not normal cisgender, therefore you're weird, and we can make fun of you." Like that doesn't happen. I mean, it does happen, but generally speaking,
it's not like socially acceptable.
It's not acceptable anymore.
Right.
So comedy changes. Society, and I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but it depends. I think it can be taken too far.
Well, don't worry. The pandemic and politics will continue to give us loads of people who are hilarious.
Like, I like these people who make fun of Joe Biden all the time. He's so this, he's so that. He's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I find him interesting. I don't think he's stupid.
I don't think he's stupid. He's like Jimmy Carter.
Kind of, but he's unique in his own regard, And I'm like, there's things about him I don't like politically. I don't agree with everything that he does. I never will. It doesn't matter who you are, what president you are, what politician you are. I'm never going to agree with everything.
I have never drank the Kool-Aid on any single person.
There's no perfect politician, right? That's because we're all human and we all have different variables of the way we think. And I actually like that.
I love it too.
I hate people who try to put me in a box.
Oh God!
And you have to believe everything I believe, or you're not
you
don't belong.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and I think I like that about Joe Biden is that he is slightly awkward. Yeah. He's socially awkward.
Oh, completely.
And so I'm like, you're my people. Like,
well, it's funny.
You don't have to be perfect and have all the right things to say all the time.
Well, what's funny is people do love to landblast him for faux pas or tripping or whatever. And I'm like, he's
a human being, for God's
Gerald
sakes.
Ford was like that a long time ago, and I wasn't alive necessarily, but I remember seeing the jokes about Gerald Ford being incredibly clumsy. There were, but everybody was like, everyone's kind of like aloof or whatever, and he's from that time. He's a throwback, but when I see him, he's like, yeah, I stutter. And I'm like, okay.
And?
All right.
But some people are so...
well, they're just looking for any flaw.
Yeah, and I mean, they're so quick to expose the weaknesses of a human being as, something that's unacceptable. And I'm
that makes them poor to function. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not in my world.
Well, and that's kind of the same way I was feeling.
You can be both, by the way.
I feel like that about cancel culture. I hate cancel culture.
I hate it so bad.
So much. And what's funny is whoever institutes the cancel, whatever, if there's a group or a general wave of,
whatever
trend of it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I agree that people do really shitty things.
Agreed.
And you are entitled to no longer support them.
Absolutely.
Give them money, watch their stuff.
Whatever
it is that fine. That's fine. Yeah. You don't have to do it. If they're a criminal, they will go to jail or at least be held accountable in a court of law.
Right.
But in general terms, I saw something, a comedian that I really like, and she had Chrissy Teigen on her show or
they're really
something.
trying to bring her back, yeah.
And I am not a fan of Chrissy Teigen.
I'm not either.
And when I found out that she was telling some girl to die in a fire and kill herself and all that shit, and she's like, well, I'm sober now, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Anyway,
I believe that she's sober, but I don't care. Yeah. I don't think that's the reason why she did what she did.
Anyway, this comedian's like, we need to forgive, we need to do all this stuff, and she turned off the comments on the post.
That's such a chicken shit thing to do.
Well, it's fine. I personally, if I was super famous, I don't think my comments would be turned on either. But I said, well, I find that ironic, and I know why she turned it off, because she actually turned her back on somebody who was canceled hardcore, never did anything illegal. It was just in poor taste, and it didn't go well. And she severed a partnership, and I mean, really, it ruined his career initially. I mean, he's coming back now, but it's never gonna be the same.
No.
And I'm like, really? Well, where's
Mario Batali?
Where's the forgiveness for Chris D'Elia there,
yeah.
miss? Where's the forgiveness?
It's selective.
Exactly.
It's selective.
It's selective.
Right?
I don't know what's going on with the Mario Batali thing.
Oh, well, he's dead.
I know
he's alive, but I mean, he's never going to be,
He's never going to be a celeb again.
No.
But I mean, does he work?
I would assume that he has, he's invested and has interests in restaurant.
I think he's probably still making money.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Not the same.
Well, I mean, hopefully those people negotiated their residuals and their royalties and things like that well.
Honestly, who should be giving him buckets of money is fucking Crocs.
Right?
Legit.
Yeah, agreed.
Thanks,
agreed.
Mario. Now everybody's wearing Crocs. They're so ugly.
There is some, one of the people who got canceled for a similar accusation was John Besh. Is that his name?
Who?
John Tesh.
John Tesh?
No, the guy that works at Commander's Palace in Louisiana.
Legit have no idea.
He's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, well, what did he do?
Adorable. Well, he was accused of, he's very, very flirty, and he was...
Did he grab someone's tit?
I don't think he went that far, but he was just in the kitchen, and being a chef. He was very vocal about, you're hot, but whatever. He was just a flirt.
Chiarello, that happened to Chiarello too.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. His wife divorced him too.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure...
There are repercussions. It's not like...
Of course!
It's not like, you're just a bad person. Oh, well.
Yeah.
No, there are repercussions. If you get...
Absolutely.
If you have the level where people want to cancel your ass, you will still probably pay a price. But
yeah.
The whole what I really hate is when this cancel culture thing affects businesses who go, ooh... They're canceled on Twitter. We should probably just completely, sever the ties.
Yeah.
Like, really? Really?
It's like they don't want to risk any type of...
That's so stupid.
Guilty by association or whatever.
There was a girl who was on The Mandalorian, and I cannot remember her name. She used to be an MMA fighter. People know who I'm talking about.
Ronda Rousey?
No. I can't remember her name. Okay. Daryl knows who it is. Anyway... she said some incredibly inappropriate shit on Twitter. She's incredibly conservative. She's almost right-wingy so she said some shit that was not good. Disney fired her immediately. Immediately. And they gave her, I guess they had given her a warning, and then... and
if you have those feelings or those beliefs or whatever, you're, more power to you. I really am okay. I am one of the biggest believers and proponents of allowing people to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And they if it's not affecting your life, mm-hmm. what they think, what they say, if they're not in a position of power to change anything of your rights or infringe on your rights, then and they just want to look like a douche, let them.
Yeah.
How does that affect your life? You don't have to read their shit. You don't have to believe it.
And what was funny is I'm like, you guys were that concerned that this second tier actress who happens to have this it was a fairly extreme thing, and she had actually come out and said,
it depends on what it is.
Well, for example, she equated the mask mandate and all that shit to Jews wearing a Holocaust star.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
You can't, no. Right.
She got fired.
Well, I mean, okay, that I can kind of understand. Disney.
Disney's like, people think that Disney didn't like Jews. We really can't. We really can't.
I mean, there are certain things that you can't defend, no matter what. I'm sorry. Leave the Holocaust alone.
However, from what what I've read or from what I understand is, I believe they have hired her back.
Because I've been saying the one thing there are certain points in history that if you don't agree that it was horrible and terrible,
just shut up about it.
Then be dead. I mean, yeah, like just literally, like how will anyone align with that? You
Lord.
Just can't. No. Genocide happens to be one of those issues where I retract what I just said. I'm not going to allow you to believe that the genocide or that the Holocaust was okay.
It's equally as bad as wearing a mask.
No. Under any circumstances.
Right? Okay, so I think that's the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for anybody who's supporting us by buying Lumi or just subscribing. Leave us a rating and review if you love us. Follow us on all of our social media. Buy our Uglee mugs, which are so cute.
They are so
mugs
cute.
Of cheer. Ours are coming. I ordered ours, so we're getting ours soon. I'm so excited.
They're super cute.
They're so cute.
It's supposed to be like mug
of cheer.
If you didn't know.
Yes. Well, it was funny when I first did it. I go, "Do you read this as mug or mug?" Yeah,
I did,
mug.
but that's because I'm an UGG, so I'm like,
exactly.
I immediately knew, but I just wanted to make sure everybody else knows. That's what you're.
Yes, and
when you
super
see
cute.
it, you're like mug.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And I can't wait until we get them so Daryl can put his cocktail of the week in it, and so we can taste them. But anyway.
Oh yeah, that'll be adorable.
It'll be cute. All right. Well, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.